Dear Chosen One, have you ever felt that unmistakable nudge in your spirit? That gentle whisper calling you towards something greater than yourself? Today might be the very moment you've been waiting for, the divine appointment that changes everything. Welcome to this sacred space, where transformation isn't just possible, it's inevitable. I'm speaking directly to you because your presence here isn't random or accidental. You are guided to this message for a reason that will become crystal clear as we journey together. The ancient wisdom texts tell us that many are called, but few are chosen. Yet here you are, chosen, set apart, and positioned for an extraordinary purpose. The fact that you're listening right now confirms what the universe has already ordained. You are meant for more. Life has a way of conditioning us to accept the ordinary, to settle for less than what we're truly capable of achieving. Society pushes us toward conformity, toward shrinking our dreams to fit inside boxes labeled realistic or practical. But deep within, you've always known you were created for something exceptional. Today, we're breaking those limitations. We're shattering the glass ceiling of mediocrity that has kept you from soaring to your highest potential. This message will serve as your permission slip to step boldly into the greatness that has always been your birthright. What if I told you that the challenges you've faced weren't obstacles but preparation? What if every closed door, every disappointment, every setback was actually positioning you for this precise moment? The wisdom traditions teach us that our greatest tests become our most powerful testimonies. I invite you to lean in closer. Take a deep breath. Allow yourself to be fully present, because what I'm about to share could be the catalyst for your breakthrough. Before we continue, I want you to do something important. If this message is resonating with your spirit, if you feel that inner knowing that says this is for me, hit that like button right now. This simple action declares your readiness to receive what's coming next. It signals to the universe that you're open to transformation. Also, share this with someone who needs to hear it. True abundance multiplies when shared, and someone in your circle is waiting for exactly this message. The ancient texts reveal that we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but against unseen forces that work to keep us small, doubtful, and disconnected from our purpose. Today, we're reclaiming our power. We're stepping into the light of our highest calling. Are you ready to discover what makes you uniquely equipped for greatness? Are you prepared to embrace the divine assignment that only you can fulfill? The journey we're about to embark on isn't for the faint of heart, but I promise you this, it will be worth every step. Stay with me as we unlock the secrets to your extraordinary destiny. Your life is about to change in ways you never imagined possible. Dear Chosen One, let's address something rarely discussed in faith circles, the profound weight that often accompanies a divine calling. Throughout history, those marked for extraordinary purpose have frequently walked through seasons of deep darkness. This isn't coincidental, it's connected to your calling. When we examine the lives of history's most impactful spiritual leaders, we discover a common thread. Many experienced periods of overwhelming despair. The shepherd king wrote of his soul being downcast within him. The prophet who called down fire from heaven later sat under a tree, exhausted and requesting death. The wilderness prophet experienced doubt from a prison cell. Even the Messiah himself was described as a man of sorrows, acquainted with grief. Your depression doesn't disqualify you from your calling. It may actually confirm it. Why do chosen ones often experience such heaviness? Because the enemy recognizes your potential. The darkness you feel isn't merely emotional or chemical, though it certainly affects those aspects of your being. It's also spiritual. The forces that oppose your destiny will use every available means to convince you that you're forgotten, abandoned, and purposeless. But here's the truth that changes everything. The presence of darkness doesn't indicate the absence of God. Often, it's in our deepest night that God's voice becomes clearest. His guidance most precise, and His presence most real. You are not helpless against this darkness. To believe so would be to place more faith in your condition than in your Creator. The battle is genuine. I would never minimize your struggle, but so is your authority. Depression may be your current experience, but it is not your identity. You are equipped to fight this battle, and you don't fight alone. If you've been carrying this weight, know that you stand in the company of spiritual giants. Your struggle doesn't disqualify you. It marks you as one being refined for extraordinary purpose. Right now in the comments, share one word that describes how this message is making you feel. Your vulnerability might be exactly what someone else needs to know they're not alone in their struggle. Dear Chosen One, what you're experiencing isn't just a mental health challenge. Though it certainly affects your mind, it's not merely an emotional valley, though your emotions are deeply involved. What you're facing is often a battlefield where spiritual forces contend for your destiny. The enemy's strategy is methodical: isolate, accuse, and distort. He wants you to believe three dangerous lies: that your pain is meaningless, that God has abandoned you, and that you must face this alone. But I'm here to remind you of a fundamental truth. You're engaged in a war that extends beyond what eyes can see, beyond what medicine can fully address. Prayer becomes your first and most powerful weapon in this battle. When you pray, even when it's just tears or groans, you're inviting the Creator of the universe into your struggle. The simple cry, "God, help me," carries more power than you realize. Prayer pierces the darkness and reminds the enemy that you're not fighting alone. Worship becomes another mighty weapon. When you lift your voice in praise, especially when you don't feel like it, you're making a declaration that transcends your emotions. Worship shifts the atmosphere around you and invites God's presence to break the chains of despair that have held you captive. God's truth becomes your sword. When you speak truth over your mind, even when your feelings contradict it, you're wielding a weapon the enemy cannot withstand. Declare that God draws near to the brokenhearted. Proclaim that He saves those crushed in spirit. Remind yourself that nothing can separate you from His love. If you're walking through darkness right now, remember this: the battle isn't just for your comfort, it's for your calling. The enemy wouldn't fight so hard against someone who posed no threat to his kingdom. Your depression isn't evidence of your weakness. It's often a reaction to your potential. Stand firm, Chosen One. You're a warrior, not a victim. Your struggle has meaning. Your pain has purpose. Your story isn't over. Take a moment now to type "I am a warrior" in the comments. This simple declaration is your first step in reclaiming your spiritual authority. Dear Chosen One, the valley of depression, though painful, often becomes sacred ground where the deepest spiritual truths take root. When everything is stripped away, when the noise of life grows quiet, God often reveals Himself in ways we could never experience on the mountaintop. First, depression teaches us genuine dependence. When your strength fails, when your resources are depleted, when your own wisdom proves insufficient, that's when you discover that God truly is enough. Like the apostle who learned that divine grace proves sufficient in weakness, you begin to understand that God's power manifests most perfectly when your own power fails. This lesson, though costly, becomes priceless. Second, depression exposes deception. The enemy's primary weapon is falsehood, convincing you that you're alone, unloved, or beyond hope. But in the valley, as you cling to God's promises, truth becomes your anchor. You learn to reject the lie that your worth depends on your feelings or achievements. You discover that your value comes from being loved by the Creator, not from what you produce. Third, depression deepens compassion. Those who have walked through darkness become uniquely equipped to guide others through similar terrain. Your pain, when surrendered to God, transforms you into a wounded healer. The comfort you receive becomes comfort you can offer. Your testimony becomes a lifeline for someone else, drowning in despair. Fourth, depression refines your calling. The fire of suffering burns away what's superficial, leaving only what's eternal. Many chosen ones discover their true purpose not during seasons of ease, but in moments of profound difficulty. What emerges from the fire is more pure, more powerful, and more aligned with God's heart. If you're in the valley right now, I encourage you to ask, what are you teaching me here, God? Your pain isn't wasted. The darkness isn't pointless. God is forging something precious within you, something that will shine more brightly, because it was born in the dark. In the comments below, share one unexpected blessing you've discovered in your difficult season. Your insight might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. Dear Chosen One, while spiritual insights are valuable, you need practical tools for the journey through darkness. Let me share tangible steps that have guided countless chosen ones through their darkest seasons. First, establish a rhythm of remembrance. Depression distorts memory, causing you to forget God's faithfulness. Combat this by documenting moments when you've experienced God's goodness. Keep a journal where you record answered prayers, unexpected blessings, and promises fulfilled. On your darkest days, return to these written testimonies. They become breadcrumbs, leading you back to hope when your emotions can't be trusted. Second, create a sanctuary of stillness. In our noise-filled world, hearing God's voice requires intentional quiet. Designate a specific place and time, even just 15 minutes, where you silence distractions and simply be with God. This isn't about perfect prayers or flawless meditation. It's about showing up consistently, creating space for divine encounter. Sometimes, the most powerful prayer is simply sitting in God's presence, allowing Him to hold your pain. Third, surround yourself with truth-tellers. Depression thrives in isolation, but healing happens in community. Identify people who will speak truth when you can't see it, who will hold hope when yours falters. This doesn't mean surrounding yourself with those who dismiss your pain with shallow platitudes. Rather, find those who acknowledge your struggle while gently reminding you of who God is and who you are in Him. Fourth, engage your body in your healing. The connection between physical and spiritual well-being is profound. Simple practices like walking outdoors, breathing deeply, or stretching can become spiritual disciplines that ground you in the present moment. Movement often precedes motivation. Sometimes you must physically walk forward before your spirit follows. Fifth, serve others from your wounded place. When depression turns your focus inward, intentionally look outward. Find simple ways to serve, sending an encouraging message, praying for someone else, or performing a small act of kindness. These actions remind you that you still have something valuable to offer, even from your place of pain. Finally, seek professional help without shame. Utilizing counseling, therapy, or medication doesn't indicate spiritual failure, it demonstrates wisdom. God often works through trained professionals who can help you navigate the complex terrain of depression. Which of these practices resonates most with you? Share in the comments which step you'll commit to implementing this week. Your commitment might inspire someone else to take their first step toward healing. Dear Chosen One, depression has a way of dimming the vibrant dreams God placed within you. Visions that once burned brightly now seem distant, perhaps even impossible. Yet, the darkest season of your life can become the very soil from which your greatest purpose grows. Remember that many world-changing visions were birthed in valleys, not on mountaintops. The dream interpreter received his most significant revelations while imprisoned. The exiled shepherd encountered the burning bush in his season of obscurity. The greatest message of hope emerged from a garden of anguish and a cross of suffering. Begin. by reclaiming the original vision. Return to the moment when God first planted that dream in your heart. What was the essence of that calling before doubt, fear, and depression clouded it? Write it down in its purest form. This act of remembering reconnects you to your purpose beyond your present pain. Next, break down that vision into smaller steps. Depression makes mountains appear insurmountable, but no one climbs a mountain in a single leap. What is one small action you can take today that aligns with your God-given dream? Perhaps it's making a phone call, writing a paragraph, or researching an opportunity. Small steps taken consistently create momentum that eventually overcomes inertia. Surround your vision with community. Share your dream with trusted individuals who will nurture it when you cannot. Sometimes others can see the path forward when fog obscures your view. Allow them to hold your vision with tender care until you regain the strength to carry it yourself. Most importantly, recognize that darkness often precedes breakthrough. Just as a seed must be buried before it sprouts, many divine dreams require a season of darkness before their fulfillment. Your current struggle isn't the end of your story. It's a crucial chapter in a greater narrative. God is writing through your life. Your dreams haven't died. They're being refined. Your calling hasn't been revoked. It's being deepened. The vision God gave you will come to pass, not despite your darkness, but often because of what God is forming within you through it. What dream do you need to reclaim today? Share a glimpse of your vision in the comments. Speaking it aloud is often the first step towards seeing it manifest. Dear chosen one, as you begin to rise from the ashes of depression, be prepared for resistance. The enemy, having failed to keep you permanently in darkness, will attempt to prevent your complete restoration. Understanding these tactics equips you to overcome them. First, recognize the weapon of discouragement. Just as you begin to feel hope stirring, thoughts may flood your mind. This won't last. You'll fall back into depression. Nothing has really changed. These aren't random thoughts, but strategic attacks meant to halt your momentum. Counter them by declaring, "My healing may have setbacks, but my direction is forward. God is restoring me step by step." Second, be alert to isolation attempts. As you strengthen, you may feel pulled away from the very community that supported your recovery. Thoughts like, "They don't really understand," or "You're burdening them," create distance between you and your support system. Resist this by intentionally deepening connections, even when it feels uncomfortable. Third, watch for the distraction of busyness. As your energy returns, you may be tempted to fill every moment with activity, leaving no space for the spiritual practices that facilitated your healing. Remember that sustainable recovery requires continued spiritual nourishment. Guard your sacred times with God as fiercely as you guard your professional commitments. Fourth, prepare for the test of memory. The enemy will try to keep you defined by your darkest moments rather than by God's deliverance. When memories of your depression surface, acknowledge them, but add this truth: "That was my experience, but it is not my identity. God has brought me through, and my story now includes victory." Finally, expect the challenge of your testimony. As you begin sharing how God met you in darkness, opposition will intensify. Your story threatens the enemy's power because it offers hope to others still trapped in despair. Share anyway. Your voice, strengthened by struggle, now carries unique authority to break chains in others' lives. Your breakthrough isn't just for you, it's for everyone who will be touched by your transformed life. The opposition you face confirms the power of your emerging testimony. Have you experienced any of these forms of opposition? Share in the comments how you're standing firm against these tactics. Dear chosen one, as we near the conclusion of our time together, I want to speak directly to your heart. Perhaps you've resonated with much of what we've discussed, yet still feel the weight of darkness pressing down. Perhaps you're thinking, "This sounds hopeful, But my situation feels hopeless. I understand. Healing rarely follows a straight line, and transformation seldom happens overnight. On the days when darkness seems overwhelming, remember this. Throughout history, God has specialized in bringing light from darkness, life from death, and hope from despair. The same power that raised Christ from the grave is at work within you right now, even when you can't feel it. Divine strength is perfecting itself in your weakness. You might feel alone in your struggle, but countless chosen ones have walked this path before you. The heroes of faith, whose stories inspire us. They too knew the weight of despair. They questioned God's presence. They doubted their calling. They wondered if morning would ever break through their endless night. Yet each of their stories testifies to God's faithfulness in the darkest hour. Your depression does not disqualify you from your destiny. In fact, what you're learning in this valley will become essential to fulfilling your purpose. The compassion you're developing, the dependence on God you're cultivating, the authenticity you're embracing. These are not detours from your calling, but preparation for it. God hasn't brought you this far to abandon you now. The same love that called you before the foundation of the world sustains you in this moment. The same wisdom that designed your purpose is guiding you through this valley. The same power that set the stars in place is working to restore your joy. Hold on, chosen one. The night may be long, but morning is coming. Your tears are not wasted. They're watering the seeds of purpose God has planted within you. Your struggle is not meaningless. It's forging strength you'll need for the journey ahead. Your pain is not pointless. It's preparing you to comfort others with the comfort you're receiving. You are seen, you are loved, you are not forgotten, and you are never, ever alone. What words of encouragement have helped you most during dark times? Share them in the comments to strengthen someone else on their journey. Dear chosen one, we've journeyed together through the reality of depression, examined the spiritual warfare behind it, discovered lessons in the valley, explored practical steps toward healing, rekindled divine dreams, prepared for opposition, and found encouragement for the path ahead. Now it's time to look forward with renewed hope and purpose. Your experience with depression, whether past, present, or recurring, is now part of your story, but it doesn't define your future. The darkness you've navigated has equipped you with unique wisdom, deepened your compassion, and strengthened your spiritual muscles in ways that ease and comfort never could. What the enemy intended to destroy you has instead prepared you for greater impact. As you move forward, carry these truths with you. God's love for you never diminished during your darkest moments. Your value never decreased when your feelings of worth plummeted. Your calling remained intact, even when you couldn't see beyond the next breath. The light within you, though sometimes dimmed, was never extinguished. The world needs your voice, especially because it has been shaped by suffering. The world needs your leadership, especially because it has been refined by struggle. The world needs your wisdom, especially because it has been forged in fire. Your greatest ministry will likely flow from your deepest wound, now healed by divine grace. Depression may have been part of your journey, but it will not be your destination. God is restoring what was broken, renewing what was weary, and reviving what appeared dead. The same God who met you in the valley is leading you toward the purpose for which you were created. As we close, remember this: finding God in depression isn't about escaping darkness, but about discovering that even there He is present. Even there He is working. Even there He is transforming you into the person you were always meant to become. Your darkness has purpose, your pain has meaning, and your story is still being written by the author of hope. Dear chosen one, our time together is drawing to a close, but your journey of healing and purpose continues. I invite you to take specific actions that will help you apply what we've discussed today. First, commit to a 21-day hope practice. Each morning, Write down one truth about God's character or one promise from Scripture that speaks to your situation. Declare it aloud throughout your day, especially when darkness threatens to return. Second, create a personal healing plan. Identify 3 practical steps from today's message that resonated most deeply with you. Implement them consistently over the next month, tracking your progress in a journal or with an accountability partner. Third, share this message with someone who needs to hear it. Your willingness to be vulnerable about your own journey might be the permission someone else needs to seek help and hope. Fourth, join our community of chosen ones who are supporting each other through seasons of darkness and light. Subscribe to Spirit Channel for weekly encouragement and practical wisdom for your spiritual journey. Finally, remember that your story matters. In the comments below, share one insight from today's message that spoke directly to your heart. Your testimony might be exactly what someone else needs to take their next step toward healing. If this message has blessed you, please like, share, and subscribe. Together, we're building a community of chosen ones who understand that our darkest valleys often lead to our highest purpose. Thank you for allowing me to walk alongside you today. Remember, even in your darkest moments, you are chosen, you are loved, and you are never alone. Until next time, may you find God's presence even in the shadows, and may His purpose shine brightly through your life.